welcome to
KM Talks.
Alright, so today, as requested by our dearest friend, we really take suggestions to our friends for our content with our vlog. And actually, she's right. We haven't shared our story yet to everyone, and we started with what's just out of the blue. So, as requested by, we are going to record a video on
How we met.
how we met.
We got
Thankfully.
some questions given to us, so we'll have a look at those and answer them the best we can. Alright, so if you want to go first.
Okay.
Uh,
Okay, so let me just introduce myself. So I'm Marjorie Valdez Howarth now. So I'm Mrs. H now. But before I am called Marjorie Mrs. Sean Valdez, and I'm a public school teacher.
Yes, so I am obviously Kyle Daniel Howarth. Like my favorite T-shirts I've got. She stole my surname, so she's now Mrs. H. So yeah,
Mr. H here.
That's pretty much me. I'm from UK, London.
And I'm
Not
from
America.
the Philippines. Yay!
Yeah, in the Philippines now. So it's been a shift and change, but we'll get to that
We
at
will
some
get
point.
to that.
And it's been mixed. The amount of times I get, "Hey Joe," like I'm not Joe from British.
Yeah, he's always been called like that. You should have wear that shirt,
True say.
But it's in the laundry. Anyway,
That's true.
so the first and foremost, or the first questions ever asked is, when or where did you meet? Okay, I'll let you ask that question. Answer that question.
Sure. So where did we meet? Well, we first met online with a Christian dating site. Yes, a Christian dating site. See,
Guys.
just to encourage you guys, those who are online, looking online for relationships,
Yeah.
it does work out. There is good stories.
Yeah, maybe 30%.
Oh yeah. But it's just taking that risk. It's a big gamble.
Yeah, it's just disclaimer, okay? When they say 30%, because we've been there, like I've been in that dating site for quite a while. Way back
14, 15?
Actually 2013.
Oh, 2013. Wow, okay.
Yeah, 2012 perhaps, I think. I'm not really accurate with the detail, but I think it was 2012. But it was a long time before I met Kyle.
Yeah, so that was fun. So we first spoke online on December 28th, 2015.
Yeah, and the story goes like this.
Yes.
So as I said, I've been in a Christian dating site for a while, and there were also some few people I've met there, but didn't work out. Just one, I think, who were able to visit me here in the Philippines, but didn't work out. Maybe it's not just really God's will. So I said to myself, sorry for the mannerism. So I said to myself, like, Lord, I don't want to do this anymore. I don't want to chase anymore. I don't want to message guys anymore. So what I did is I have uninstalled the app and I unfriended all of my friends or all of those guys I met online in my Facebook. So I have already added Kyle by that time, and he did not take notice too much about. He did not take interest, or he's not interested with me. Sorry for the bloopers. He's not interested too much about me. So I just said I won't be chasing. I will give time, too much effort in a guy who would not really interested. So I just get to the point that, like, I'm done with it. I don't want to chase any guy anymore. So I went to my parents' room, because at the time that's the only room that has a lock, and I share a room with my sisters. So I prayed to God, and I told to the Lord, I don't want to chase anymore, Lord. Like, I was really praying in the spirit, and I was growing, and and I was like, Lord, if you would let me meet a guy, that would be my husband. So that's a power in prayer, right? Yeah, that's all it started. So I prayed to God, Lord, I don't want to chase anymore. I'm hurt. I'm done with this. I don't want to meet anyone. If you're going to let me meet someone, that would be my husband.
Mm-hmm.
So I unfriended everyone, just like what I said. Right after I prayed, at 5 o'clock on December 28th, that
Wow.
day.
Time as well. Jeez.
I can still remember
And 5 is the
clearly.
number of grace.
Oh, really?
Mm.
Nice. At 5 o'clock, I received a message in the Facebook Messenger, and that's Kyle.
Yeah. Ironically, just like what she said, I wasn't interested with Marge at first because she wasn't my type. Because at the time, my mindset was most of the women I was looking at were black. And so most of the women I've been with were black. So I naturally thought that my wife would end up being black. So
A black
I was like, she's okay, but it's not what I'm looking for. And then
He has that criteria.
exactly, I didn't have a criteria. And I remember saying, Lord, the Lord spoke to me and said, message her. And I was like,
That was the time after I prayed.
yeah, after she prayed, message her. I was like, okay.
Yeah, I think he noticed that he doesn't seem to notice my posts in my Facebook timeline. So that's the time he found out that I unfriended him.
Yeah. So when I messaged her, I went, hold on a minute, she's removed me. What's going on? And then Marge, when I messaged her, she said, "Oh, I accidentally deleted you." She
And
didn't.
I'm still denial. I don't want to. Oh my gosh, you notice I unfriended him. Of course, I'm still gonna lie a bit. I don't want to be embarrassed. Yeah,
Yeah.
because he noticed that I did unfriended him.
So she replied back, and then we said, "Oh, let's talk." I had a couple of people giving me some warnings, some heads up, because for those who don't know, there is a unfortunate thing with the Philippines.
Yeah.
Oh, if you're with a Filipino, like she's just there to get passport or
Yeah.
money and stuff like that. So I had a couple of friends that were kind of pre-warning me and stuff like that. So I thought, oh, what, let me just give it a try. So I chatted her and I found out a little bit later afterwards.
Skype, WhatsApp.
Yeah, you found out about WhatsApp that day, wasn't it?
Yeah.
You got WhatsApp.
The most application that he's been using is WhatsApp. So it was a struggle at first because we're not using WhatsApp by that time in 2015, December 2015. So we really, it was really my first time. So I was like, is this really God's will? Because I'm really struggling here. How to use WhatsApp? I don't know how to add him. Like, is this really God's will kind of thing? But in the end, we managed to sort it out. Yeah. And that begins our everyday talk. Yeah.
Indeed.
Like 3 hours, sometimes max.
I was definitely doing that. We were talking for quite a bit, and we were like, oh, this person's quite nice. We get on really well. I gave her a list of questions to prepare her.
And ironically, that time, when I was still teaching in college, like I'm also giving exams to students, so I don't mind. Like, of course, you're going to bring me this kind of questions. Bring it on, come on, bring on these questions because I don't mind. I'm very honest. Like I'm really transparent and honest. So whatever I've listed or whatever I've answered on those 40-ish questions he sent me before.
We'll get to that a bit later.
We'll show you those questions we're going to, we have talked about. We're going to maybe discuss that in the next few vlogs. Maybe might after this video we might talk about that. But those are questions. It's nice to talk about and maybe refresh ourselves. Yeah. Oh, this is the questions. Oh, this is the answer I did. I need to recover it in WhatsApp for the meantime, though.
True.
Yeah. All right. So
you want to do the next one?
Yeah. So we met on when we were getting along. We we're getting along to each other. So I guess by December, so we've been speaking and chatting for at least 2 months by that time.
Yeah, 2 months.
Yeah.
So I think by the time it got to February 5th is literally a week before my birthday, roughly. Yeah. So I said to Marge, you do the honor of being my girlfriend.
And he is the only guy. Well, I'm not really been fond of. I don't have British suitors, Filipino suitors, or other stuff like that. But it's really my first time to be asked out.
Mm.
It's really my first time to be asked out by someone I'm also interested with. I'm not going to be the first woman to give a to do a move like, "Would you be my boyfriend?" kind of thing. No,
Mm.
I'm still like, I'm just be quiet, patiently waiting if you would ask. And yes, he asked me that very wonderful question.
And your reaction was, "Of course, I'd love to."
Yeah. I would not forget that time. It was, I think, 9 or 10 a.m. and is still speaking to me over the phone. I think that's 2 a.m. already in your time.
Mm.
And then, would you be an honor? That is an honor for me indeed, because the way how he asked me out.
Where you wanna?
I was distracted now. Kinikilig na naman siya.
Yeah.
Anyway, okay, let's proceed with the next question.
Okay.
Okay, Kyle, what's your first impression that you when we met or when we chat with each other? With other difference with other girls?
Yes. I think one of my first impressions of you when we were chatting was that you were very open. Like you weren't afraid to be honest about how you feel, what you think, and you were very expressive. And just the way we were chatting and the things I found out about you, the interest, we were very similar. But compared to the other girls I spoke to, there didn't seem to be a mutual interest. It was more like a one way, like me trying to make all the effort to talk and communicate, but it seemed to be recuperated. Hey, I got the word right for once. Recuperated, where you will call messaging me and asking how I am and what I'm into. So that was a very different experience for me. I've never had that before. So I was like, this is quite different. I'm very confident by that. Exactly, Maganda Papo. So yeah, just learning that really was encouraging for me when I was chatting with you.
No,
How about you? What was your first impressions of me when I was chatting with you? And yeah, why I'm interested in foreigners as well.
okay. A little bit tough question. Well, just like what I had a bit of a detail earlier, I'm not really, like, let's just say I didn't had a boyfriend when I was in, of course, primary, secondary. I still have some crushes, and there were some times that I did told my feelings to a guy, but if he would give interest, if not, okay, I'll leave it and drop it. But yeah, I didn't had any suitors when I was in a primary. Even I graduated college. Really that attractive to boys or guys here in the Philippines. I don't know, and maybe my beauty is exotic.
That's possible.
Yeah, possible. Like my beauty is exotic. I've been receiving some inquiries from other foreigners before, but I don't give too much attention to them unless I know that they pass my checklist.
Oh yes.
Because I have 3 criterias or yeah standards checklist. First one is I want for the guy is that he loves the Lord. He loves the Lord more than me. And we will talk about that later on some views we've learned lately.
Wow.
Okay, so that's my number one. I pray that the guy, or I want for a man who really loves the Lord. It's not just attend days in the church, but someone who really loves the Lord. And the second one is no vices, no anything like alcohol, smoking, drugs. Of course, I don't like that one. And the last one is who would love my family like how I love them, like would understand the situation. So those are my criteria in looking a guy. And of course, you would know the guy personally as you spend time more and talk more and ask more about it.
That's true.
But with Kyle, he have sent me 40 questions. So okay, so this is what you want to do. So it's not just me who answered the questions. He also answered the 40 questions. Okay. Kyle have posted and asked me, and I did patiently answered all of them. and
She
I also
did, and
received
that was encouraging too.
I also received the questions, and we will discuss about that later or in our next vlog. Okay.
Just connecting back to what we mentioned earlier, what was your first impressions from your child?
Thanks
At the
for
beginning?
asking that. The first impression, wow, I was like, I'm surprised. I haven't encountered this way. How a guy would ask me, and would give too much attention, and would give and share a lot about the word, about what he does in the church and stuff like that. So I find him interesting and attractive because we start our call, we end our call and our talk by praying. So that's more like a pogi points. More like a pogi points for me.
By
So
the
that's
way, if those
impression.
were English watching this, Poggy Point just means handsome.
Yeah, handsome.
Makes
Yeah,
him looks
handsome
good
points.
looking.
Good looking points. Okay.
Yeah.
So there you go. And that's I guess we've got answered 1 to 5 questions.
Yep.
Why do one foreigners share any past experience with lovers? Oh, okay. Why do foreigners in my part? Just like what I said earlier, I'm not really attracted with Filipinos. I don't know why. Yeah, it's just that later when I'm with Kyle, that's how I develop my physical appearance. Ay, baka anong iniisip nyo? Hindi yon, hindi yon. What is that? I really believe in the Bible when it says, a cheerful heart makes a cheerful face. So if you are in the right person, I know that it's going to reflect in your face.
Yeah.
So, I guess that's answering my end.
I think if I may, just on one of them I remembered before, because you were talking about earlier, what was it? About why you want for ensuring past experience with lovers. I mean, just you using that scripture about a cheerful heart is a cheery face. When compared to like your past relationship, it was the opposite. So, it was a sad face, sad heart.
Yeah.
So to know that I was able to be part of your life and bring that effect to you, and people could see it, there was a difference. That's really really encouraging.
Yeah.
But it's always nice if you can make your lady happy. If you're the problem to be the one who's causing her to be sad, that's red flags.
That's true.
Me, why foreigners? Well, I never planned to marry a foreigner at the time. I was with a partner in the past who was from abroad, but they were here in the UK first, and they went back home.
They
but
were in the
it-
UK. We're in the Philippines, guys.
Yeah, we're in the Philippines. So when I was back home in the UK, they went back to their country, and it just didn't work out. So, but when I met Marge, yes, for those who think I sat in my mind and was thinking, I'm going to marry a foreigner who lives abroad. That was not in my head.
Yeah.
So yeah, meeting Marge, like, I thought, wow, it's definitely a different experience. And it was a challenge. It's a
Long
challenge.
distance relationship.
Oh boy, yeah. For those who are not strong, mentally strong and emotionally stable, like, I wouldn't recommend it. It's tough. It's really tough. That's why you need God's help.
It does.
Because it's taxing on the soul, man. Taxing on the mind. But if you're willing to make the effort, then, it will work. And, so yeah.
Yeah. I don't know if it would also relate with when I was young. We went to this mall with my mom, and then my mom called me, Marge, come here, come here. So I was like, okay. I was primary, and then mom showed me this family, like, and then the kid is a mix of Filipinas, like a Filipina and a American. So I was like, Marge. My mom said that when I want to have a grandchild like that.
Wow.
But he said, not that too tall guy. So sorry, not discriminating the tall guys, but
Yeah.
it's just a preference, okay?
Mm.
My mom said, I don't want to have like a son-in-law that's too high or too tall, and like a big man. No. So it's kind of just no.
Just about
Yeah,
right.
just about right. Not too scary because of the height. Yeah, but if it's gonna work out with you guys who have a tall husband or partner, it's okay. It worked out to you, so
sure,
it's
husband.
fine. It's okay.
Up to you.
That's up to you. And aside from my mom, my our godparents is in Bataan. Hi, Tita Baby. She also have mentioned to me that she also wanted to have like a grandchild with mixed culture. So there you go.
Looks like it's all
But
coming.
yeah, but don't worry, guys. We'll get from there. I'm still 30 years old, going 31, and he's
32
32. So
just.
we're still young. So don't
Yeah.
worry. Don't in a hurry. Okay.
Indeed.
I like that. Don't worry. Don't
No,
be in a
no,
hurry.
I
All
like that.
right.
Hashtag.
Hashtag. So our next question is, why do you want foreigners? And
No, you
was
done
it?
that
Oh,
one.
I done that one.
The
Sorry.
next one.
So our next question is,
Goodness.
did you realize, or when did you realize that he or she is the one? Hmm. When did I okay, I'll let you answer the question first.
Well, one of the things she mentioned earlier was about a list, and I wrote a list back in 2009 of 47 things I wanted in my wife. Yeah. I told a couple of people this, and they say, oh, maybe one or two, or maybe five, but 47? And I knew she was the one because after we had the whole examination on the phone, the 20, 40 questions. By the way, we had like we did different marriage counseling books and stuff like that. It come
Yeah.
from there. And because we was already building on friendship already, like before we even were a couple. But 46 out of the 47 was Marge. And I was like, yeah, this is my wife. This has got to be
Yeah.
my wife.
We're going to show you this list that he had. Okay.
Yeah,
What
it's
are the 40?
46.
46.
But
And yeah.
it's interesting because one of them was maybe Asian. So I had the possibility that it might happen, but because I've got a friend of mine, a family friend, who's also with a Filipino, so I saw the possibility that it might happen. So that was one of the reasons. And then when I came here into the Philippines the first time and visited March in May 2016, and oh, gosh, it was hot. When I came and I was here for 2 weeks with Marge and I met, and we were talking, discussing, obviously enjoying each other's company. I mean, just from the get go when I first met her, I was like, wow, I can see she's going to be wife material. I remember coming in, I was hot. She was like, lay down, honey, it was midnight. She was cooking for me. I was hungry. Like, it's midnight. Wow, this woman really is different. And I think it got to the second week, and I asked the oldest sister, and I want to propose to March. And bearing in mind, we just asked her out 3 months prior.
Yeah,
right?
and you went here May, I think May 19.
Yeah, I think
So I
around
think
that time.
you came around May 19, 2016
Yeah.
to personally
Come
meet
see me. Because obviously, if you're going to marry someone abroad, you've got to meet them in their family.
in person.
Because if you're I mean, it's very few and very rare nowadays that people just marry abroad without meeting the person. I mean, they're doing it now.
There are some who does it, but it's their life, it's their
their life.
choice.
I don't know how, but But
Yeah, but
for
for
us,
him personally, I'm glad that we didn't meet during the pandemic.
oh yeah, that would have been a nightmare. But anyway, I remember asking the sister. She said yeah. So I took Marsh. I said, Marsh, just go to the beach. And she was insisting because it was getting dark. Let's just be quick. So I went there and I said, Marge, I have a question. She said, what's that? And I got on my knees and proposed and said, will you marry me?
Yeah, so I know that he's the one because he's really trying his best, not just to win my heart, but also the family. Um, he showed by serving, doing sweeping, doing the dishes.
Big in the church.
Yeah, in the church, speaking with the family. Like it's like might be British outside, but Filipino in heart. Because he's really trying his best with that. So I really know that he's the one because I don't have the fear. I didn't have any red flag because if there's a red flag, I would know, and God will let me know that we should stop it. We should not continue this anymore.
Yeah.
So that's I would know that he's the one, and I did say yes on May 20.
May 27th.
May 27, he asked me out to be his fiance. Fast! But it worked out in us. But with, of course, disclaimer, not all can happen.
No.
Okay. So, did you have any fear after knowing him or her? Same. No, I didn't have any fear because whenever we had some might be questions like we confirm it with each other like I'm going to ask you but I pray that when I tell you this one like we always begin the conversation like that. Before I say this, I pray that God will give you the right words to say or wisdom to say. And that's how the long distance relationship worked out because we started our conversation through prayer in those things that we want to confirm and we want to be assured with each other. It's really a communication based and prayer wise. Yeah. So I didn't have any fear.
Yeah, I think that's second that as well. Like, I think if I had any questions with her, I'd try to do the same thing, you know. Like, you know, she knew all my friends, you know, I made her, I was open from the get-go. I told her from the very beginning as well, like, I have more girlfriends than guy friends. So she was like, oh, okay, you know, I could have not said nothing. You know, I meet sisters regularly because I was closer to my sisters and my brothers in the Lord, and so that gave her some trust because I'm open about that.
Yeah, I'm not threatened to anything because even before I ask, he already already told me what is really planned for the day or what's gonna do, where he's going, who he's gonna be with. So he sends pictures. So I don't need, even though I don't ask it. Well, he already have told me everything. Like same with me. So whatever I do, I just by the time I'm not really I really don't go out that much. I'm somehow an introvert. All I do is church, work, home, church, work, home. So when I go out with my colleagues or I go out with camps and programs in the church, that's how I really just really go out from my from her church and house and stuff. So that makes us assured with each other.
Indeed.
Yeah.
Oh,
so what's the next question?
What was the reaction of your family members?
Well, I'm the second among six siblings. Six. Six siblings. So
just to make sure.
Yeah, just to make sure. So what's their reaction? I guess they trust me. I remember telling this to dad, like dad, I'm asked I'm speaking with someone called Kyle in London, and he wanted to visit. So they're supportive with me because they know that I know how to choose a guy, and they know that they can trust me. That wherever I go, whatever I do, I know that I will not be doing anything wrong that will be against, or they would that I will be in trouble. Yeah. So even though when we picked up Kyle the first time, my dad is there and my brother is there as well to support us with the relationship. And while we were during the Facebook calls, FaceTime, Skype calls, that time WhatsApp calls, I've been introducing Kyle even through phone. So by the time he arrived here in the Philippines, like everyone knows him already. It's not a shock anymore.
Just curious, just connecting to that fun. Obviously, because I knew you'd been before and prior to me. Did they feel any kind of way about that? Because it's like, oh, you've only just. Are you sure if it's going to be? Were they wary or were they okay? You're still good.
Of course, I didn't jump into the relationship right away because there's been few months.
Of course,
Yeah, there's few months before I get into a relationship with you because that's not right as well. Get into seeing instantly no. But what's their reaction when because I've been into someone foreign as well? Of course, there will be a comparison. There will be a comparison for that. But what's a good thing is that, like what I said, they trust me with my choice, and I know that they know that I am not as emotional. I'm not as crying lady every week to them because they know my struggle. They know that I've been crying too much because of the relationship. But we're good. I hope he's good. I don't know if he will be watching this video. I do not say anything bad thing. It's just that the relationship didn't work out. But I know that we're good. We're good. We had a closure with that.
Just good.
Yeah. How about you?
Um, my family, I mean, my parents especially. My mum, for example, she's always open to anyone I've been with. She was just, oh, you someone, hi, welcome, come to the house.
Yeah, I visited the UK 2017. December 2017. It's my first time to go out to the country, and the whole family, her mom and dad, helped me to get a visa
Yeah, I did, yeah.
and a flight ticket too.
Yeah, actually. But yeah, my mum was really open. My mum can open with anyone I've had, but she could definitely see the difference in me because I was in a prior relationship roughly around the same time that Marge was in her relationship. So we kind of broke up with
At
our
the same
exes
time.
at the same time
But
and
well
ended up
help each other.
yeah, exactly, broke up with our ex-partners around the same time, which is crazy, just mad. God had his way of doing stuff. And I remember them seeing a difference in me because the previous relationship I was miserable, man. It was emotionally a wreck. Yeah, it was all over the place. And then I met my wife. You know, I always say to people, you know, it's like Jesus. You know, I was being showing disgrace to my ex, and then he gave me Marge, he gave me grace. You know, that's how I her relationship to me has been that God has given me her. But my dad, first for the first time in any of the previous relationships I've had, he didn't have no issues with. And if ex-partners, he's not sure about that one. He won't say anything. He want me to discover it myself and be like, well, I always had questions about her, or that one was a bit. But with Marge, he had no problems. And the first time he met her, he was like, yeah, she's amazing. She's wonderful. She's perfect for you.
Hi, Graham.
Hi. So literally, he was happy, and for him to feel that comfortable with someone I was with, that made him more relaxed because he didn't want anyone to be treating me like that.
Yeah.
To
Because
know
it's
that,
the only begotten son, you know.
yeah, the only child, you know, only son. And, it's deep, and but the rest of my family, they were supportive. You know, they were happy for me, and they could see the difference and the changes. And obviously, I'm married now, so you know, it's encouraged it or more cherry on the icing on the cake, as I say. So yeah, no problems on my family side. A couple of my friends are a bit, but we sorted that out, and that person
at the end.
acknowledged it and said sorry and whatever.
Yeah,
So
I
that
don't
was,
blame them because there are some really, from my country that does that to get some milk. I mean, foreign
oh.
finance and
Oh,
things
right.
like
So it's a little term for it, is it?
that.
Get some milk.
Like I don't know what's the right term for that, like milking or something.
Oh, yeah, milking you.
Yeah,
milking
kind
you.
of thing.
That makes sense, yeah.
Yeah. So
Alright.
I guess
We're getting there.
I'm getting there, almost there to answer all the questions.
I think we've got 4 questions left, so we'll try and get through this.
Yeah.
Alright.
Expectations when dating a foreigner. Okay.
Mm.
I did choose a foreigner somehow. Like in a distinct country, you know, in those dating sites, you can choose which country you want to speak with.
Mhm.
It's because I'm an AV English graduate, like Bachelor of Arts in English, and I thought, hey, I don't know how to improve my communication skills, either oral or writing. So I was thought maybe I need to speak with native language, a native speaker of this, so they can teach me how to speak because we learn by doing it. So that also interests me. And then it's just that later on, yeah, as the more I speak with Kyle, the more I enhance my communication skills with that.
Indeed.
So expectation dating a foreigner. I think one of the expectation would be a challenge because it's a long distance and you don't know. I don't know if it's an expectation, but I do expect that if he really interested with me, he would do an effort to come here and visit me, or me going in his country instead. So I'm not really into the finance kind of thing. Kyle had made that clear to me, and I made that clear to him as well. And that was
Yeah.
If?
So
if I just be
oh,
with you.
yeah, I remember. I told you some of my friends have suspicions and stuff like that, and I remember calling Marge. She said, "Marge, when I come back from the Philippines, this is before I met her, before I physically came to the Philippines." I said, "Look, when I get back, if you're after my money, I don't have any, and if you're coming back just to get into the UK, we're done." And bless her, she burst into tears and she said, "Oh, honey, I love you. I know Filipinos are known for that, but I love you and I fear the Lord."
Disclaimer.
Disclaimer, indeed.
Yeah, but that's a personal one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
My expectations of a foreigner. I think I didn't have necessarily too much negative expectations, just because, especially the language barrier, knowing how well Mars spoke in English, just the communication was able to flow. So that made me a lot more comfortable. Because you always imagine if you're going to marry a foreigner, maybe the language might be a bit more challenging, struggling to communicate. But thankfully, I've also been learning. She's been teaching me her language too. So I'm trying to learn the language as well, trying to get there, as they say, katilang, small.
That's few.
But yeah, I didn't have much expectations. I just knew that as long as when I was going to meet Marge, she was going to be the exact same person I was talking to. And then when I met her, it just exactly the same, and even better. So it exceeded my expectations.
Thanks for that. Well, when you're dating a foreigner, for the next question, thanks for that, by the way. What's the reality when dating a foreigner? Just expect that there will be a long distance relationship, unless that you will really decide to settle down and get married, and you talk about what is going to be. You would really be in a long distance relationship, and it would take really a challenge for the trust, the loyalty, transparency, and communication. Oftentimes, that you have to be wary and be conscious of the time zone as well that you're going to speak. Of course, you have to consider him. You consider your time working. Um, it's not all the time that you're going to spend the whole time speaking with him. But of course, you have to do other things as well. You have to balance that.
Yeah.
Okay, so yeah, it's a struggle. And as in the 12th question, what are your struggles being in the LDR before? As we've been in the long distance relationship 2015, 20 until 2021. Okay, 2021. Although we meet like once a year, we
Say that again.
we meet only once a year. Yes. So the longest time we've been together is 2 months, and that is 2019 when we already got married on the 2018.
Yeah.
So from the time of 2017, 15 to 2017, we're not married yet. We're still dating. We meet once a year, and I was able to meet his parents first before I get married. There's also asking my parents, can I go to the UK? And he also asked my parents if they could invite me over there. Like, don't worry, I'm sure nothing's gonna be a problem,
problem.
Stuff like that.
I love having her around.
Yeah. So both of our parents agreed, and the longest time we've been together when we're not married, when we're still dating or engaged, was 2 to 3 weeks when he's allowed to be here for his holiday of work.
That was the longest, wasn't it? It was the longest. So you said 8 weeks, 2 months when you came to the UK. And I think I visited more of London than at that time than I've been living in London.
We'll share you some bits of that.
Oh, man.
We might make a vlog of that later.
Oh, yeah.
2019, yes. On the 2019, I've been there in the UK April and May with pay.
Oh, yeah, that's a blessing.
Yeah, that's a blessing if you're working in a government. But of course, it worked out like really a tough application. But of course, it's like different now. Thick. Yeah, but it's a different application now because of the pandemic. So, in the end, we decided to I
will get there with that. But one thing I will say, just an added point, the realities of it is that if you're going to marry someone abroad, make sure you know where they're from.
Yeah.
The time zone, what you were saying, because with Philippines and UK, they're 8 hours ahead. Mm-hmm. So you have to work out what's the best time for you. Like, it's like if you're up really early in the Philippines and it's like afternoon, you're already asleep in the UK. So it's trying to work that out. And it took a while for us to adjust. And especially if you have work or we were meeting people so you couldn't speak that day, it can be really challenging. So you've got to be willing to make that commitment, knowing you are gonna have to adjust. If you're not a person willing to adjust, then long distance is not for you.
You have to decide.
You have to decide. And obviously there's foreigners who are abroad who come to the UK, but it was a reality check for me because I think when we had the long distance relationship, And then when we got married, it was even harder because obviously now you're married and you want to be together. So, and then the pandemic hit, and the pandemic was torturous. I think that's the longest time we've not seen each other. A year and a half? About a year and a half, 18 months that we didn't get to see each other, and we were like, right, we've got to decide what we're going to do. Am I coming there? Are you coming here? I was trying, different things for mine to come to
We're
the
still
UK.
asking the Lord if it's what's really His will, but
Exactly. So I prayed. I said, Lord, okay, do you want Mars to come here? Because I'm trying here, or do you want me to go there? I believe the Lord said, I want you, Mars, to come here. But for me to come to the Philippines, I thought, oh boy.
it's gonna be a challenge.
It's gonna be a challenge. It's a whole shift for me because I used to live with my parents, so you can imagine all my life, and then I've got to move to a new country, new place with my wife, starting afresh, like independent. Oh wow, it's a kicker, but I've enjoyed it. It's been challenging. We've had our ups, we've had our ups and downs. We've had our little moments which you do in marriage. It's normal. But what was the last question? Any advice with other couples, especially LDR? Make sure you have trust.
Yeah.
It's foundational because those relationships, they can't do long distance because the guy is not trustworthy and he could be seeing other people and vice versa.
Yeah.
So that's a real struggle. So your trust has to be there. Build your friendship first.
Yes.
Don't just get into a relationship and a boyfriend-girlfriend relationship quick. Build your friendship.
Yeah.
Because that was one of the things that helped build my trust with Marge, is that we were best friends first. And we just...
And brothers and sisters in Christ, because we share.
Exactly. So if you got that foundational, then that's definitely a thing. Always, whatever decision you're making, let Jesus be center. Always be praying and asking God to keep the center of this relationship. If God is willing for it to happen, He'll make ways.
Yes.
And always be praying for wisdom, for strength in what to do. Definitely make efforts with the relatives. Because if you don't want to be in a relationship...
Philippines family oriented.
If you don't want to be in a relationship and you don't really want to make effort with the family, they might see that as a negative and they will withdraw. And the person who's the daughter or the son who's in that relationship might feel a strain with that because of it. Because it will look like you're trying to hide something.
Or you're going to take her away from her family.
Exactly. So that's a key point.
When you marry a Filipina, you marry the family.
Indeed. I'm just so glad with Marge when she married with me. She met my parents and they're like that. They're tight.
Yeah.
And they love her and she loves them. So there's nothing better. They say it's good that you love the wife. You're not just marrying the wife, you're marrying the family. Because it's true. Like, if you marry the partner, you don't get on with the in-laws. Oh gosh, that's a real another problem. So I hope that whoever makes a decision to get married, that you make sure you get on with the in-laws.
Yes.
The last thing you want is you're happy with your partner, but then you don't get on with the in-laws.
Yeah.
It's difficult.
Just like what I shared in one of the group talk before. Your partner should be an addition to your family, not a subtraction.
Exactly.
Like, he's an added family, not someone that would cause harm or division or subtraction. Yeah.
What I will say though as well, not just in the relationship with you guys, but make sure that your friends are well in tune. Yeah. Get your friends' advice. What do you think about this? Or would you be willing to talk to this person and get to know them? Because sometimes what happens in relationships, especially marriages, is that friendships seem to think that, well, now that you're married, you now depart.
Yeah.
No, you guys were there before we even got together.
Yeah, let's talk about that in our next one.
No problem.
Okay. So I hope this vlog helps you to know us and to guide you as well with your relationship, whatever your plan is.
Indeed.
The thing that we could advise is just, pray to God and really, you would the only person who would know if it's really for you. And we're gonna tell you what to do, but just pray, and I know that God will show you the white flags. White flags.
Yeah, indeed. Not the red ones too.
And the red ones. Okay. So that's it for today. Thank you for watching this, and I hope you click that subscribe button
and share.
Okay. So
cool. So until guys next time, come back again for another episode of KM Talks.
Bye.
See you guys later. Bye bye.